Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Haxenhunt. Today we are comparing two Hoyts. We got the aluminum line. We got the Hoyt Axius Ultra up against the Hoyt Axius Alpha. So we got short axle up against a long axle. This is a 34-inch axle bow, and then we've got a 29.5-inch axle bow. So we're going to put these two to the test up together, see which one shoots better, see which one I'd prefer in my personal hand, and then go ahead and share with you guys my results. So if you guys want to see which one I'd prefer over the other, then go ahead and stay tuned. So first up, we're going to compare and shoot is going to be the Axius Ultra. So this is a 34-inch axle bow in the aluminum line that Hoyt has made. This bow is very comfortable feeling bow. Let's go ahead and show you guys the balance of that. There you go, right there. Balance is really good, feels really good in the hand. You can definitely tell that it is a larger axle bow just due to the weight. But let's go ahead and do the drawback. Very smooth draw cycle with this bow. I'm going to show you guys that kind of a spongier back wall, which I've come to really learn to love. It's been kind of a learning process to learn to love a spongy back wall, especially with a hinge release. It helps me kind of get a cleaner shot off. Let's do that drawback one more time. Very smooth, and it just drops right into the right place where that pin needs to be, and the string angle is super nice. I'm a big fan of a wide string angle, so the Ultra is obviously going to have a much wider string angle than most bows. Being that 34 axle bow, the hand shock and vibration to jump forward is pretty minimum. I feel like it's got a little bit of hand vibration, not a whole lot. I feel like it would have more jump forward than it does hand vibration. Good feeling bow though. Shoots really good. Let's draw that back one more time. And it is set up at a 30-inch draw length with 70-pound limbs. Equipped with whisker biscuit and a single pin sight. So it's very smooth shooting bow, feels really good in the hand. Jump forward is there just a little bit, so we're going to add this, just a 6-inch stabilizer up front, just to see if that helps with anything or adds any stability to that. Sorry about the noise, we got a few people here in the shop today. So balance and stability is super nice. Adding that stabilizer. There goes my kisser button, shot that off. Let me grab that real quick. It's not tied in, so they do shoot off every once in a while. But adding that stabilizer up front can definitely tell a little bit of a difference. A good difference. Didn't change it dramatically and drastically, but feels really good. Yeah, that is a very smooth shooting bow. But let's grab the Axius Alpha, that shorter axle bow, shoot that, and compare and see how it's shooting up against this Ultra. All right, so now second up, we've got the Axius Alpha. This is 29.5 inch bow, axle, so much smaller. Let me put my release here, my belt loop maybe. There we go. Let me put it up here to show you guys kind of the difference between 34 and 29.5 inch axle bow. So pretty decent difference there. Probably the biggest difference that I'm going to notice shooting the bow is going to be the string angle. They're both set up at 30 inches draw length and 70-pound limbs. But here's the balance of this Axius Alpha. Just so well balanced. I feel like just since it's a smaller axle bow, I feel like the balance is a little bit more compact and just it can't tip as easy just because there's not as much weight, you know? So I do feel like it's got a little bit of a better feeling balance to it, but nothing I wouldn't like I'm not going to complain about the way that the Ultra is balancing. You can just tell difference just because it's a completely different bow. Draw cycle's really smooth. I feel like it's a little bit more of a harder pull. It is 70 pounds as well. I'll show you guys that back wall. Check those cams. So it is the exact same back wall. Has a little bit of sponge to it. I've learned to really come to like the sponge. I've always been a limb stop kind of guy. I just loved a solid back wall, but I used to always use a wrist strap trigger release, and I feel like that's almost better there, just because I would just sit there and as a trigger, I had a bad habit of having some target panic and punching the trigger, so that's kind of why I would like that. But having a little bit of a sponge with this hinge release, it allows me to really get the correct motion in my shot, which is really nice. So let's shoot that one more time and kind of compare the hand shock and jump forward to what that Ultra was having, and just really pay attention to that. The string angle is for sure a lot less wide. I feel like shooting I almost feel like it's got like a slight less hand shock, but the same jump forward. The Ultra has a little bit of hand shock, and I feel like this one has a little bit less, maybe because it's just got less riser. Shoot, I hit my arrow on that one. Yeah, the jump forward I'd say is pretty similar to what that is, but that hand shock I feel like is a little bit less. String angle on the other hand, let me show you guys, pulling this back. My anchoring point with the Ultra is like this, and then coming down to this Alpha, I feel like I add so much string and facial pressure on that string. You gotta remember, being at full draw, so right now this string is hard, almost as hard as a rock. I mean, there's 70 pounds pulling that back away from each other, so it's really solid. But once you're back, I think these are like 85% let off. Yeah, these are the 85% let off mods. So that's only like a 14-pound bow. So that facial pressure is going to be torquing that and moving that, which is going to cause that arrow to either go left or right, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, and you're putting that facial pressure on there. So the least amount of facial pressure you can have on the string, the better. So I do feel like having the shorter axle bow I'm having to tilt my face forward and create more facial pressure. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. But we're gonna throw that stabilizer on it, shoot it again, and see how that kind of feels in the hand with those shots. All right, now we've added that 6-inch stabilizer here to the front of this Axius Alpha. Let's shoot this and see both the balance of the bow settles in really nice. And again, I can notice so much more facial pressure. I can try not to. So like, you gotta like bring the bow forward, kind of get away from the string on my face. It's not, the stabilizer didn't change it dramatically. Oh my gosh, I said dramatically again. Dramatically again. At all. Like, you can tell it helps you balance, which is what the stabilizer's for. Dang, I just put another hole in that fletching. Yeah, you can definitely tell a little bit of a less hand shock. About the same jump forward, which is pretty normal. That one felt really good, really dead in the hand. Yeah, that's kind of how that bow shoot, and they both shoot really good. Obviously, having that bigger axle on the Ultra is going to be changing that string angle, which is causing less facial pressure and less having to tilt your head forward. So I'm a fan of that. So that's going to be obviously the biggest difference between these two. Shooting wise though, they both shoot very, very similar. They both, you know, balance in really good. This one's going to give you a little bit more of a better accuracy out at a longer distance, which is totally normal with a longer axle bow. That's why target shooters use a long axle bow. But we're gonna take these over to the chronograph, shoot them through the chronograph, and see how fast they're shooting compared to each other. Test them on the scale and see the true weight, whether they are both 70 pounds or, you know, a few pounds here and there, more or less. Yeah, so let's head over to the chronograph and check the speed of these bows, and then continue to choose which one I'd rather have. All right, time to check the real weight. It does have an added whisker biscuit and a single pin sight here. Let's just check the weight here on the scale. See how heavy the bow is. So this is the Axius Alpha. Right there we are at 5.27 pounds. Come off. All right. So that's the Axius Alpha. So 5.2 pounds. So now we got the Axius Ultra. Same setup, same rest and sight there. 5.27 was that Axius Alpha. Reset that and throw this Ultra on here. And we are at 5.60. So 0.4 pounds. So just under half a pound more to add 4.5 inches axle. So we're going to shoot them through the chronograph, see how fast they're shooting, compare the two, and see which one's shooting faster. All right, so first up through the chronograph is going to be the Axius Ultra, set up at 30-inch draw length, 70-pound limbs, and a 437 grain arrow. So first shot, and we'll do 2 shots out of both. We are at 290, and second one, $298. So 290 and 298. So we're just right there below the 300 mark, and with the Ultra. And then next step is going to be the Alpha. So first shot through the Alpha. .305. So the Alpha is shooting a little bit quicker there. Let's see if it's consistently quicker. and 306. So that Axius Alpha is shooting anywhere from 15 to 8 FPS faster through those shots. So that's pretty nice to know. I can't remember if they have the same brace height. Yeah, they got the same brace height. Yeah, so we're gonna test out the actual poundage on the scale to see if they are actually both at 70 pounds like they advertise. So first one up here on the scale to check the draw weight is gonna be the Alpha. 71 pounds. £71 for that Alpha. And then here for the Ultra, let's see what this one is really pulling. 72 pounds. So it's exactly a pound heavier draw weight with the Ultra, and it's still shooting a little bit slower than what that Alpha is shooting. All right, so it's time for just a simple 2-arrow grouping out of the Alpha and the Ultra. So first up, we've got the Axius Alpha. Let's take 2 shots out of this. First shot. All right, second shot. See if we can keep a good grouping out of these 2 shots. Good group there with that Axius Alpha. Second up's gonna be the Ultra. Let's take a shot out of this one. Oh, the string angle is so much nicer. I will admit to that, that's for sure. I just feel like in that Alpha, I'm always looking for that string, but this Ultra, not looking at all. And like, there's no facial pressure for me on it.
What's the new RS4?
Good group in there. Let's go take a look at those groupings out of those 2 bows and kind of compare them. I know it's only a 2-arrow group and it's only like 13 yards, but shows a little bit for you guys. So right here is going to be that Alpha. So they're about 1 inch apart there. And then right here is going to be that Ultra. Same exact group, about 1 inch apart. So nothing to complain about those groupings with those bows. That is going to wrap up this video for you guys. The Axius Ultra up against the Axius Alpha. Both bows shooting really, really good. You got a little bit of extra speed out of the Alpha and got a better string angle out of the Ultra. Obviously weight comparisons between the 2 are going to be different due to this one being 4.5 inches bigger axle, but it's honestly only 0.4 pounds. Yeah, some people might, make that into a big deal, but I personally don't think it's that big of a deal if it's only 0.4 pounds of a difference. Both feel really good in the hand. I feel like the Ultra settles in a little bit nicer than the Alpha. I really like the Alpha. They both kind of have different purposes, especially with a 30-inch draw length using this. Obviously, this is going to have a much better feel to it with a 30-inch draw because it is a 34 axle axe bow and this is only a 29.5. So I get that the comparison is going to be a little bit different, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys and inform you guys kind of the differences, in my opinion, on what these bows feel and shoot like, and the differences, how it feels in my personal hand. But yeah, so if I was to get home with a bow today, it'd most likely be this Ultra. It's a very smooth shooting bow. I really, really like it. Might not be shooting just as fast as the Alpha, but speed's not a huge deal for me. But just want to say huge thanks to all of you guys and all of your support that you show me on my channel. Big thanks to all of you guys that are subscribing each and every day. Really appreciate it. Big thanks to Terry here at Team T Archery, letting me come on into the shop and take up his time and range to be able to come shoot these bows for you guys to show them off and let you guys have a little bit more information on them. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it, and we will see you guys next time.